Welcome to an episode of the Critic Diaries where we break down an episode of the Vampire Diaries. We are on to episode 7, and I feel like this is going to probably be one of like the shorter videos in this series that I've created because honestly, um, episode 7 felt like it was supposed to be eventful, but it didn't feel like a lot had happened. So let's break it down. Also, if you have made it up to this point, thank you so much. If you are a fan of the Vampire Diaries, comment down below what is your favorite episode of the Vampire Diaries. Also, be sure to subscribe because I post every single day up on YouTube and on TikTok. And be sure to also hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a video. With that said, let's talk about episode 7 of Vampire Diaries. Okay, so episode 7 of Vampire Diaries, it continues with Vicky being a vampire, but this time she's really thirsting on human blood. And we have Damon like really influencing her to do that. But you have Stefan on the other hand that's giving her a cup of what I think is animal blood to Vicky so that she doesn't feel that hunger for humans, which is interesting. I also like the fact that, we can really see the polarizing personalities with Damon and Stefan. Damon is telling Vicky to, it's not a big deal to feast on human blood. You can just feast on human blood, erase their memories, and then move on. But then you have Stefan, on the other hand, who we know does not feast on human blood, has done that before, but has clearly changed since, and he feasts on animal blood. But this is the interesting part because he tells Vicky, you know, each of us form our own path. And guess which advice Vicky takes? Because it's clearly not Stefan. She goes rogue. Vicky goes rogue, and she ends up going out with Jeremy. Everyone is telling her, "Don't go out with Jeremy. You're gonna end up feasting on his blood. It's going to be dangerous." That sort of thing. Because Stefan is trying to keep Vicky in the house, and then you have Damon. That's just like, yeah, let's just go outside. It's fine. But anyway, Vicky finds Jeremy. They go to the Halloween dance, and ironically, she dresses up like a vampire. Bonnie and Caroline are also in this episode. Thank goodness. I'm sorry, nobody tops Bonnie. Like in my opinion, like nobody. I love her, and thank you for returning to this episode. I was so excited when I saw her. But yes, Jeremy and Vicky they're at this dance, and they go away and they're making out and all that teenage stuff. And Jeremy tells Vicky, "Hey, we can be together forever." And as soon as he said that, I was like, "This is reminding me of what Stefan told Catherine." And then Catherine turned Stefan into a vampire. So it was at that point where I was like, okay, Vicky's definitely going to turn Jeremy into a vampire. And I was very convinced that that was going to happen in this episode, but it didn't. Or at least she's going to feast on his blood. I know that she can't really turn anyone into a vampire because she's still like apparently in the transition period, which doesn't make sense to me because like I know in the previous episode they said she's in the transition period unless she feasts on human blood, and she clearly has in episode 6. But now in episode 7, I guess her hunger is still uncontrolled, and she's a new vampire and everything, so it's all new to her. Also, I know I said that I'll stop comparing the Vampire Diaries to Twilight, but it doesn't help that the actress who plays Vicky looks like Rosalie from Twilight. Or she looks like Alice if Alice had long hair from Twilight. So take that info what you will. Um, oh, what else can I say about this episode? Oh, one thing I've noticed about this episode, and the reason why I'm saying it now is because of what Jeremy says. So Jeremy in this episode is saying, for the past few months I've been grieving mom and dad's death, and good things have been happening here and there, but when the good things happen, Vicky was there. And so when he said that, I literally thought, okay, cool, Vicky's gonna stay alive for the rest of this episode. Until she's unalived by Stefan, which is an interesting point. I did not think that was going to happen, but it did. Um, but the reason why I wanted to mention that is because the one thing I realized is that Elena has no personality. You could ask me to, mention a character trait or personality trait for Elena, and I would not be able to give you one. I can tell you that her parents died in a car accident and that it's affecting her because now she was given pills. But nothing in the series really shows me that she has that sort of anxiety. I don't know, maybe I've missed the hints, but I I can't tell you much about Elena. I feel like I can say more about Stefan, Damon, Bonnie, and even Caroline. Caroline has been given less screen time, but at least with Caroline, I can give you back a bit of a backstory with her. You know, her parents used to be together, but then her dad left her mother for another man, and now they live in Texas. Like, that's more than what I can give you about Elena. Um, Yeah, and Bonnie's character development is just like honestly the greatest. And I'm not just saying that because she's my favorite character in the entire show so far, but I feel like I can tell you more about Bonnie because again, they give her more leverage. They give her more character development. I don't know, maybe I'm going crazy. Um, what do you guys think about Elena? Let me know down in the comments. But yeah, Elena is just there. She's just a character, and I, I feel like they kind of did this on purpose because it's like I said in the previous videos. She's kind of like Bella. She exists as a blank slate, so that us as the audience, if we want to, imagine ourselves in the supernatural realm, we can imagine ourselves, being Bella. We can imagine ourselves being Elena, and being surrounded by vampires and witches and have all of these events happening around us. But I don't know. I just feel like they really need to develop her personality. Like, I was even surprised when she went to the house to go talk to Stefan because I was like, why would you do that? You broke up with him. And then it was like, oh yeah, she's going to go talk to Stefan about Vicky and Jeremy and all of that. But yeah, it's kind of disappointing that there's not much character development with Elena. I don't know if that's going to happen for the rest of the series. Again, it's only episode 7. A lot can happen and a lot of character development can happen. But at this point, if I know more about the side characters than I do about the main character, that's a bit damaging. That's a bit damaging, in my opinion. But yeah, I got a bit distracted there. But anyway, about that episode, Caroline gives Bonnie this necklace that Damon gave to her, and Caroline gives it to Bonnie because now Caroline and Damon aren't talking to each other. But then Bonnie, you know, she's at the dance. Her grandmother, or she goes home, and she goes to her grandmother's, and the grandmother notices the necklace that she's wearing and says, where did you get this? It's been in our family for generations. So Damon lied to her. So Damon, I thought, okay, this necklace has been part of the vampires. No, it belongs to the witches. We get to know more about Bonnie and her, like, her backstory, or rather her family. So her family does come from Salem, but during the 1800s, they moved to Mystic Falls. The grandmother shows her a picture of her great, 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 great grandmother. And it was at that moment of the episode where I was like, and your great, great, great granddaughter is not doing fine because clearly Bonnie is what's the word? She's kind of having this inner conflict of being a witch. At some point, when she's wearing the necklace, Damon is talking to her and then touches the necklace and then like burns. So I feel like that's a bit adding to the witches and vampire dynamic. Also, and maybe this is wishful thinking, or maybe I don't know, and maybe I don't know if I should ask this, but does Bonnie and Damon get together at some point in the series? Because after that moment, I was like, you know what? What would happen if a witch and a vampire end up dating? Um, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Like I would have wanted to see that played out. At the end of the episode, we have Stefan and Elena talking, and Elena is like, "Oh, I can't do this anymore, but I have feelings for you," that sort of thing. Um, but she needs to try and figure out what to do with Jeremy because dun dun dun, Vicky dies. Vicky is killed by Stefan with the wooden knife. I don't know what you call it. A stake through the heart. I'm messing around here, but anyway, that happens, and so Damon comes along, and Damon turns into some good guy. I was gonna say Damon turns into this angel, but that doesn't happen. Um, and says, "Okay, well, I'm going to manipulate Jeremy's mind." And Elena wants that to happen. So Elena tells Damon, "Can you please go to Jeremy and just let him know that Vicky is safe, she's okay. Let him know that he mustn't worry about her, he mustn't think about her." And I get that there is well intention with doing that. I just don't like it. The whole mind control thing, like, put this in your shoes. Imagine you live in Mystic Falls. Let's say you witnessed your partner die, right? You're traumatized. And let's just say you're in Jeremy's shoes. Now it's like, okay, then all of a sudden your memories get mashed up by a vampire. Like, I don't like that. I don't like the fact that Damon did that, but it was also at that point where I kind of like Damon. It took me 7 episodes to get to this point. But okay, I don't love him, but I don't hate him. Okay, we've gone from hate and we've turned it up a bit to maybe like is a bit of a strong word. Now we tolerate Damon. I tolerate Damon. Uh, yeah, so that was my thoughts on episode 7 of The Vampire Diaries. I will be moving on to episode 8 very soon. And yeah, if you have made it up to this point, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And you. Also, if you are someone that loves film and TV content, be sure to follow and subscribe. Be sure to turn on the notification bell so that you do not miss a video. I like to post every single day. I have a few interesting videos coming up, including my review of the Netflix series Adolescence. A fun fact video on adolescence is already up on my TikTok and YouTube, so be sure to check that out on my profile. So, yeah, we have some exciting stuff lined up. So, I brought back Recommendation Mondays and movies from your childhood. So, be sure to comment down below what your favorite childhood movie is, what your favorite childhood TV show is, and a movie that you'd like for me to review in the future. But other than that, thank you so much for joining me along this journey. I look forward to reviewing episode 8. But until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.